speaking on, because I mean, you know, and not like I kind of like I don't know my way, but it's like I'm just coming at how the system do men who want to be in their child's life.
Right.
Like how do you? Because I get people that tell me like, hey, you know, fall back from the mother, but then you know, at the age my child is, like,
How old is the child?
he's 2 months, so it's not
he
like
a
I
baby.
can call him. So if we have, you know, our arguments or whatever, you know, she, you know, want to go through her arguments, block me on the phone, stuff like that, and I'm just supposed to sit with them.
Okay, I feel you. Have you? I would hate for you to have to get into the system this early, but if you and the mother can't see eye to eye, do you think it's time for you to establish some physical custody with the child while they're young, or do you want to try to work it out?
Not at all. I mean, you know, but again, I don't even know if it's an answer that can be answered. But it's like, you know, me and the mother, because we feel like a child shouldn't have to go through that type of situation.
Agreed.
We try to fix it, but it's always a clash. And then it's like, okay, well, speaking on mother's standpoint, hey, I got full control. I'm going to take the son. I'm going to do this. I just don't know how to get around it.
How old are you and how old is the mother?
We're a year apart. I'm 26. She's 25.
Oh, y'all young with the baby. Okay, so she's still in that age where she gonna play them games too.
Right.
Now, how's her family feel about you? I mean, all white people are racist, but are they obviously racist? Are they, you know, aggressively racist? Like, do they care whether or not the child sees their black father or not? I guess is what I'm asking.
To be honest, I mean, her mom hate me, you know, and my mom is like the same thing because of what's going on. Like, it's like each other's
oh man.
I wouldn't say it's real bad because we're still mature enough to kind of keep talking, even if it ended in being a friendship, you know. But my whole issue and thing I want to get on is like just how cruel the system can be to people.
Oh, for sure. They cruel even when the mom black. You know, I go through it. So, you know, I hate walking into that family court and they stick it to me because I am Dr. Umar. So I really catch it, you know, but I do agree though, because your son's mother is white. That white privilege is definitely going to be kicking in. However, your son being black, he ain't going to be able to live his life as a white boy. And she knows that, or she better know that. And the white grandmother better know that. And you going to have to fight to be in his life because you cannot let them try to raise your black son like he's a white boy or raise him like he's a multicultural or biracial. That's all crap. You talk to any mixed race black man, he going to tell you he's still black. He may have gotten a little bit of privilege because he was lighter, but he's still black. And they cannot prepare him for what he going to have to go through in this world. And we don't need him having no identity crisis either. So I think if the white grandmother hates you, bro, then I think you got to go to court and get you some custody right now, man. I really do. I think right now you set the tone.
For the child too?
Say that again.
It's good for the child to go through that.
Well, remember now, is the child breastfed or bottle fed?
Bottle fed.
Well, if the child bottle fed, you could take him. See, if the child was breastfed, then, you know, they're going to cater to the mother because the baby can only be fed by the mother's breast. But if that child is on a bottle, there's nothing wrong with you getting the baby on the weekend. Because the baby's so young, I would probably only do a day. I would do 1 day or even just a half a day. You might set it up where from now until 6 months, you get the baby for 6 hours on Saturday, hypothetically. Once the baby's 6 months to a year, you get them all day Saturday. Once the child is 1 year old, I'm taking them for the whole weekend. You know, you can kind of stutter step it, but you want your child to know who you are, though. You know, so I think you need to get something now where even if it's just a few hours, bro, you are spending some private time with your son. You got to do that, man, because he needs that African side. He needs to feel your energy, bro, because right now he's around all Neanderthals, and that's just not going to be good for him. So,
yep, is I know it can be done. I see like
right.
rich people, you know, and some of these people, they got full custody of their kids, and it's like, I got my own place, I got my own stuff together. You know what I mean? Like, so
right.
Is it a money situation? Like,
no, it's separate. In Pennsylvania, child support and custody are two separate processes.
Okay.
You feel me? So when you go for custody, however much time you want, they're not going to bring up the money. And when you go for the money, they're not going to bring up the custody. It's separate in PA, which to me, I don't like it because that's how the women get the money and don't let you see your child. You know what I'm saying? But in your case, it's the opposite because you're going to go for the custody. Now, here's the one thing you got to worry about. Okay. When you take her for the custody, I'm damn near certain she's going to take you for money. So that's where it gets touchy. Or because if you're in a position to pay it, then cool. If you're not in a position to pay it, we don't need you getting caught up in that child support thing where they start locking you up for not being able to pay. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful right now, because if you can pay it, go ahead, get your custody. Let her take you for the child support. You pay it. It ain't going to be that much right now anyway, because the baby is 2 months. It ain't going to be that much right now. And that's another way you can get your child too, bro. Because if she say, I got to pay for the daycare, the babysitter, you can say, I'm the daycare. I'm the babysitter. You see what I'm saying? So you can factor in, you can say, I can handle that. And the hearing officer will accept that because you are the father. I want to spend time with my child so the baby can be with me Monday through Friday while she go to work. We ain't got to pay nobody else. I'm the father. So you can mitigate some of that child support.
Okay, but this is once that's even in, like, once I even go through court and all that for that. Like, I can't do that right now. Okay,
you can't do it right now. I can understand. How long before you can do it though? Because
no, that was a question. Like, are you saying, like, if we were to go for custody, that's when I can do that, or I can do it like as of right now?
You can do it right now. Right now, you can do it. You can initiate custody right now, and you can initiate, if you want to, you can voluntarily take yourself the child support. You know, or you can wait till she take you. That's up to you. Now, here's what you need to understand, though, my brother. If your baby mom is getting WIC, she's getting welfare, she's getting the EBT card, food stamps. If she is getting subsidy from the state, and she don't take you to child support till your son is 5, they're going to make you pay back all of the subsidy that they gave to your son. That's why sometimes it's good to take yourself to child support, so that way you don't have all these arrears accumulating, all this back money accumulating. See, my oldest daughter, right, she's 19 now. She's a young lady, but her mother took me to child support when she was 6 weeks. She was between 6 weeks and 3 months when her mother took me to child support, and she took me because I didn't marry her, so it was a revenge thing, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of glad she did, because by her taking me to child support when my baby was so young, okay, she wasn't able, anything she got, if she applied for anything at all, they had to take into account that I was already paying, so I didn't end up with no arrears for no food stamps or WIC. She was college educated and working, so I don't even know if she would have qualified for any of that anyway. But if she would have, she wouldn't have got it, or she wouldn't have got as much because she had taken me to child support so young. So that was the benefit of me being in the system when my baby was so young. I didn't have to worry about finding out 5, 10, 15 years later, you owe the state of Pennsylvania $30,000 for WIC, food stamps, and aid to families with dependent children. So, you know, definitely get your custody. And you might want to, I know it's tough because you don't know how it's going to go, but with the situation you dealing with, I think I would take myself to child support and make them declare me as the parent who will provide the child care for the mother. You know, keep your keep your payments and stuff down, bro.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But because if they not liking you and they white, bro, you don't wait for them to do it. Don't let them drag you in there, bro. You better, even if you just do the custody right now, initiate something on your own. You want to walk in there and say, I asked for this. Whether it's I asked to start paying or I asked to start getting my kid. Don't let them do it, because then you're going to look like the black father who just make babies and don't take care of. You know how they make us look. And because you're dealing with a white family, bro, they're going to play with all that. So you need to take yourself into the court first, bro. Trust me. Go to them for the custody. Say, listen, I just want my son 6 hours on Saturday. I don't care how low it is, bro, but get in that system as the protagonist. Get in there as the protagonist. Don't come in there as the antagonist where they had to drag you in there. Don't do that. It's not going to be good for you. Be proactive, man. I've been where you at. Trust me. Be proactive.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's some jewels. Because I ain't know, and you know, like a lot of people don't know.
Right.
That, like if I was to tell somebody, like, look, I'm going to just voluntarily take myself to child support, they'd be like, why would you do that? But how you put it, it makes sense.
Yes, sir. And also, another reason why you got to go to custody, I'm going to tell you another reason why you got to go to custody. If you ever end up with your son, let's just say you had the baby and you babysat, and there's no such thing as babysitting your own child, right? So you caring for your son and she don't come back, or y'all get into an argument and you take the baby with you because she high or whatever. I'm just hypotheticals. She can call the police and get you arrested on kidnapping in Pennsylvania. If you are with that child, she can get you arrested on kidnapping your own child because you don't have the custody established. So you need to go in there, bro. You need to go in there and make sure it's on paper that, you know, whatever amount you want. And this the other thing you want. Physical custody, I don't care how many hours you ask for. Make sure the hearing officer or the judge, whomever they put you in front of, make sure they declare that y'all have shared legal, my brother. Don't forget that. Shared legal custody. Shared legal custody. That means she cannot make medical or educational decisions about that child without you. Because you don't want your son to get 5 or 3 and he on medicine and ADHD and they talking about he retarded. What you doing with my son? She can't do that if you got the shared legal. So get your shared legal, get your partial physical, and then, you know, get ready for that child support because you know it's coming, bro. And like I said, think about whether you should go for child support too, because if she getting any type of aid from the state, I'm telling you, Pennsylvania going to make you pay it all back. All of it.
And I don't even think nobody in Pennsylvania knows this.
No, we know. We learned through example. we learned through experience, bro. I walked into child support when we had our child support hearing when my baby was not even 6 months yet. And I came with all the receipts, right? I had all the receipts, like a box. I bought everything, maternity clothes, everything she needed, I took care of, right? So I'm in there with my box of receipts, young, proud father, naive. You know what the hearing officer says? He says, I cannot give you credit for any of those receipts. She admitted they were mine. He said, are these real? She said, yeah. He said, wow, that's a lot of receipts. I said, I know it is. Guess what he said? He said, I cannot give you credit for these receipts unless she agrees to it. I said, what? He said, yep. She has to agree to give you credit. And you know what she said? I'm not giving him no credit. So she didn't give me no credit for the receipts. But again, I still ended up okay because she took me so young that there was nothing else she could try to get on the side that I would have to pay for later. So just, you got 18 years, bro. Don't wait around. I would get my share legal and I would get my partial custody. And I would make it so if this baby ever got to go to the daycare, the baby come to me. My baby don't need to go to no daycare.
Exactly. I appreciate it.
And no more babies with the white girls, bro. No more babies with the white girls.
Yeah, that's yeah.
All right, that snow bunny crisis is killing us. There's enough good sisters out there. I know we got some sisters with issues too, but we got a lot of good women, man. Get you a nice good sister up there in Pittsburgh.
You know what I would like to see? I ain't trying to change up your subject, but like, because just real quick, like, you know, me and her had a conversation before. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, whatever. But, you know, it's crazy because, not to change it up, but like Mexicans and Dominicans, Puerto Ricans and all them, like if you were to ask them, like, hey, what color are you, you know, and they're not going to tell you brown. They know their origin, right? So it's like we as black people, like, we'll say we're black, or, you know, even white people, like, they don't know they're Russian or German or some shit like that. They're white.
Right.
And, you know, so I don't want to get too in depth about it because, like I said, if I was to have a conversation with my friends and be like, well, we're not black. We could be Haitian. We could be, you know, Swahili. We could be all this other origin.
Well, remember, those are just nationalities. So that's not your true essence either, right? So if you're Haitian, Nigerian, all of these words, these names did not exist 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. They're all superficial. There was no Muslims 5,000 years ago. There was no Christians 5,000 years ago, right? There was no Haitians, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, because none of those lands were identified as that. So what were you in the beginning? And I would argue we were African, we were Ethiopian, we were Alkebalanian. These are all some of the oldest words that our ancestors used to define themselves. And I believe that we can use any of them now to define. I agree with you. We are not a color. But the reason I do not object to us using the word black is because although I prefer African or Ethiopian to indigenous words of the continent, I don't object to black because when you say you are black, there is no confusing you with any other people on the planet. Everybody on earth knows who the black people are. Now, the reason why black has become more common than African is because we got a lot of Africans running around claiming they're not African. You understand? So that's why black becomes a catch-all for the original people of the planet, because so many of us, due to self-hate and miseducation, refuse to identify with who we are. Let me give you, and then you have white folks who will call themselves African because they were born there, and because African people, just like African American people, have a colorblind orientation that is destructive to our whole political agenda, we will let whites and Arabs and East Indians call themselves an African, but you can never call yourself a European. You can never call yourself an Indian. You can never call yourself an Arab, but we will let them call themselves African. So then that kind of messes with the identity too, because you got these people who are not African, but black people are allowing them to call themselves African. But when you say black, everybody knows who black people. There's no confusing black people with anybody else. You can play games with any other word, but you cannot play games with the word black. And for me, from a spiritual perspective, blackness is a very spiritual quality. You know, spirituality is developed in blackness. The baby develops in the mother's womb in darkness. The child is conceived in darkness. The greatest and most mysterious things that take place in this world take place in darkness. The universe was conceived and created in darkness. So for me to be called black is nothing negative. Black is divinity. God was always conceptualized as being black in every ancient African tradition. Every messenger and prophet was black. So like the late great Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad said, blackness is color, consciousness, creativity, and a connection to the creator. So I do not have a problem with being called black, but I do much prefer to be called African.
Okay, but I get the whole concept too of why you don't even.
But I'm going to pick with you for a minute though, my brother. I'm going to pick with you. And this is what I want to pick with you on. How can you be so serious about blackness and our need to identify ourselves with our true origin, but yet you recreating our babies with non-African women. So how do you rectify that contradiction?
And I'm glad you asked that, right? So, again, understand, I'm going through motions. I'm still 26. Now, me and her, whatever you want to call her, we're cool, you know what I'm saying? But she's an intelligent woman, besides race, whatever. You know, this is the same conversation I'm having with you, I had with her. So it's not about race. It's about what can I learn from one? Like, what can we learn from one?
Okay, let me ask you a question. You said it's not about race. Let me ask you a question.
I'm telling you, that's what my mindset was, you know.
Okay.
This woman is like, you know, we could share knowledge, like we could talk, you know what I'm saying, talk about anything.
But you could talk to a black woman about who's going to understand you more, that white woman or a sister? Who's going to understand you more, a black woman or a white woman?
It's rhetorical, you know.
You didn't answer the question.
You know, I mean, honestly.
So it sounds like, and I'm not getting on you, my brother. We just having a brotherly conversation, but it sounds like you are not yet ready to give up your snow bunny card.
I mean,
be honest with me. Be honest with me. You will date another white woman.
Let me tell you, like,
yes or no, and then you can explain. Yes or no. Will you date another white woman?
Probably not.
You said probably. Why is it probably, my brother? Are you mixed race? Are you mixed race?
I'm not.
Okay, so you African.
And I understand, like, you know, if people recreate with different races, that it kind of extincts a race. But again,
no. Listen, mixing with the white woman is not going to extinct us because we are the original seed of God. We can't be extinct. But what it does do is it confuses the consciousness of African people. So your son, that young African, right? Because it don't sound like his white side has any intention in teaching him about his black side. If you're not there to make sure you drill him on who he is, he's going to be confused. Do you see what I'm saying? So it causes a confusion of consciousness, which can be used against our people's progress. That's the issue.
And I want to touch up on it too, real quick. Like, so, you know, and not trying to go all over, but, you know, back in the Constitution, how they use the word bondage and all that type of stuff, I feel like as long as people, and this is just my personal opinion, is, you know, again, white people, they came up red, blue, Crip blood, white, black, da-da-da-da-da. I didn't know. I actually learned today, you know what I'm saying? Like, from you saying everything is black, like, I learned that today, but, you know, from what my mindset was they just threw colors together, told us this was this, and you know what I mean, this is how you start beefing, whatever. So when I was able to look past that, you know, I kind of like, I wouldn't say like was biased, because I still love my people, you know what I'm saying, and anything I learned, whether it comes to investing into stocks, flipping property, everybody that I love, that's my culture, I provide that information to.
Right, but let me give you an example, my brother. Okay, when you build your empire, that woman had your seed. So she's going to be able to go after a significant portion of your empire just by virtue of conceiving your son. And she might not use none of that money on your son. That's money that could have been went to the community. It could have went to you building more businesses to hire more black people. I want you to see the economics of this. The psychology and the economics of interracial dating, mating, and reproduction does not benefit us. It is a significant problem because psychologically you confuse the offspring, and economically you rob your community and give to the people who have already robbed us enough. Why give her that leverage to take from your community? Because taking from you is taking from your community because you belong to us. So why give her that leverage to take from your community and give to her own? Haven't they robbed us enough? Haven't they? They stole us as people, stole our inventions. They steal our music. They steal our culture. They steal our kids. And now you want to give her a baby.
Yeah.
For what?
I mean, is your argument to say that, like, black women don't put men on child support too?
Black women do, but she's not doing it because you're black. The black woman is a victim of circumstance created in the context of racism. That white woman would be a racist whether you lived in America, Europe, or anywhere else. Her situation is not a result of context. It is a result of her consciousness.
Yeah. And it's already too late. I made the baby with her, and that's
well, right, but that ain't my issue with you. My issue with you is it doesn't sound like you are against going back to her. And let me say this. I do got to say this. And some of the listeners might disagree with me. Because that is a child. I will say this, though. I don't have a problem with you going back to her for the sake of your child growing up in the home with both parents. I believe the needs seeds the agenda of our community. So if you said, Doc, I don't want my son being raised by no white man. I'm going back until he's 17, 18, 12, 10. I would support that. But what I'm getting from you is you're very much still open to dating, mating, and reproducing with non-African women.
No. You said with white women?
Anything that's not black. White, Arab, China, I don't care what it is.
What I want to do, like I said, I don't even believe in like going to custody. I want to get back with the woman, and it's.
But you want to get back with her because you like those vanilla cookies. You're not trying to get back with her to raise your son under the same roof. You just want some more of that vanilla cream cheese.
Not even. You funny, doctor.
Listen, man. Seriously, you got to. Let me ask you a question, brother. I need you to be honest with me. What is it that you young brothers are so enamored with as it relates to these white girls? What is she doing that lures y'all in? Educate me, my brother, because I've never dated out the.
Speak for everybody as a whole.
Well, speak for you. What was it about? What do you love about the white woman so much? What is it? Tell me.
Okay, well, let's be clear. We didn't plan on having a child.
I understand. But you were attracted to her. What was it? What did it? You laid with her. Why? Were you drunk? Were you high? Do you like the white skin? What was it? What was the hook?
Man,
was she taking care of you financially? Like what?
Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna say fuck that you on camera and be completely honest with you.
Yes, sir.
Just giving you my real, honestly, reason why I like white women. And not to put black women down. I love them too, but it's just that me having my experience with black women, I either had to, go if we would argue, and it's the same. I believe women is women, but you got to go through fighting brothers and all type of shit. Not to say you scary, but it's like, who want to go through all that? A white woman, you tell her, look, this is how it's gonna be. And they don't really argue with you. I'm learning once the girl goes through what is that word? Postpartum. A woman is a woman. A woman is a woman. But usually, a white woman, they just, I ain't saying it to put anybody down, but they more just free willing to do what they man say.
So you saying the white woman is more respecting of masculine leadership and direction? Is that correct?
How you to an extent.
She's more willing to let a man lead her. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you saying there's no black women who will do the same thing?
I'm saying I had experience with them. And I'm not saying I wouldn't date them. Like I said, I think it's it for me with a white woman. If I can't make it right with the mother of my child, I just want a women to talk to, on some friendship. I ain't even trying to do anything, get in no other relationship, but if I was to, it would be, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't get in a relationship with a black woman, and there are a lot of women that are black that can, you know, do the same thing.
But here's the thing, though. Even if you are correct, don't you understand why that is, though? See, here's my thing. Even if it is true, and I'm not saying it is, that black women are less willing to let a black man lead. Even if that's true, and I know it's not true in the religious community, because in the church, in the mosque, where you have strong chauvinist gender orientation, the women are looking for men to lead them. So I know it's not true for all black women. And since most of us are Muslims and Christians, it can't be true for most women, right? Now, if you say women who do not profess a religion, they may have more trouble having a brother lead them. Okay, but you still got to understand why. The black woman has had to be the leader for centuries because of what was being done to us. So we should be able to look at her and say, yes, okay, a woman of any other race is going to be more accepting of my natural leadership of the home, but the black woman, not so much, because she has always had to be the leader, not because anything was wrong with me, but because of what white supremacy was doing to me. In other words, why do you give up on her just because you have to overcome an extra obstacle? That's the problem I have with you brothers who go to the white girl. So what? Why not work through it with her? Why not?
You're absolutely right. I'm not even, hey, you're right. You know, I would strongly say that a lot of brothers who are into white women, they probably would say, like, you know, I mean, because they, like any black, and we got the right to, but carry animosity, you know, for over, you know, 300 years, like, this been going on. But it's like, okay, we got to understand who's held accountable, because, you know, you've been put in position to be an independent mother and all this and that. Again, it's not our fault, and we're supposed to put our complete, you know, full 100%, 110% loyal trust, all that, and grow with this person. But they still carry that resentment within themselves, and you know, it's like, why should you have to go through that? Because we got to understand who did this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean,
but do you know what it comes down to, my brother? It comes down to what you value, what your priorities are, and what principles do you live on. See, it's really only two camps in the whole African diaspora. It's only two camps. I don't care if you in Pitt with you or Philly with me or Ghana, Nigeria, Jamaica. It don't matter. It's two groups. Those of us who are willing to sacrifice to help get our people back to where we're supposed to be, and those who could give a damn and are only living for themselves. That's it. You got the selfish camp, me, myself, and I, and you got the sacrificial camp. If I got to go through this hell, if I got to struggle a little bit more with a black woman than I would with any other woman, I'm going to do it because it's what's right for my people. It's what's right for my race. It's what's right for my children, my community. You see, it's that we got to always see the problem with us, my brother. We never consider the best interest of the all when we're making decisions for the me. Let me say that one more time. We're the only group in this country and in this world, the only race, we do not consider the impact on the all of the decisions we make for the me. You will never find a Mexican who makes a decision that doesn't take into account what's best for Mexican people. You'll never see a Jew do it. You'll never see an Italian. There's no such thing as a decision for me that negatively impacts my group. They don't do that. We make every decision for us, and we never think about the impact of the community. We got to stop doing that, especially the black men, especially you and me, because we are the gatekeepers. We are the protectors. We are the boundary setters. If we don't do it, the children ain't going to do it. Think about all the black boys that will see you walking around with a white woman in Pittsburgh. How does that help us? How does that help? You got to think about the group, my brother. I'm not getting on you. I'm just saying we got to start thinking about the group. What is best for the future of the people? Listen, I may not live to see it. You may not live to see it.